Introducing the Pick Up and Play podcast, Gulag Court.
Welcome to the Gulag. If you survive, you earn your freedom. You're up, soldier.
I love that. I love that little
That's brilliant. That's great.
This is the new feature that we're trialing out today, where when we're playing Warzone, there's always a time when we wonder what the fuck were our teammates doing. What on earth is going on? And there'll be some bullshit excuse about you said this, you said that, I did this, I did that. Well, that's what the call is for, to settle these disputes once and for all. So today we've got a case brought forward by Scott Jackson.
By me.
The defendant is myself, which leaves James Croxton to be this week's judge, jury, and executioner, I guess. So without further ado, opening remarks from the prosecution, Scott Jackson.
So we were camping earlier on, I think it's fair to say. We've done our recons. We were set up quite nicely. And I do have video evidence to show you of this after. I'll put forward my opening remarks for you, Your Honour. My recollection, okay, obviously I've not referred to my notes or anything since, is that we were there, we had a lot of money. Adam asked for the money. He didn't actually ask, he demanded the money. He didn't say, could I please have the money? He said, give me your money. Under duress I was. Handed over the money, as did James. Adam runs off. He was told not to go and waste all the money. And then he asked, and I told him not to buy fancy crisps. And that is code for, and I think we would all agree, don't waste it. And he said, what should I buy? And James said, well, I've got a UAV. And then we've then said, well, I'm going to play Exhibit A.
I'm not running the rocket at the moment.
In which case, that doesn't matter.
Give me money, I'll go have another run.
You better not waste all my money on fancy crisps.
And cigarettes.
Oh, Conway, you've taken it all. Hold on, let's have enough to buy you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
What shall I buy?
Conway.
I don't know, I've got a UAV.
Buy a
Maybe
UAV.
airstrike?
Buy another UAV in a cluster. Yeah. Throw me down, people. Alright. We're gonna get fucked from them guys. They're still sniping us.
Okay, so which way do we go? Left or not?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to go right, but we're gonna have to kill them people that was shooting at us. Because they're literally scoping us. I can see them. They're in the circle. They're up here. Down him. Down. Put the airstrike on him.
I've got an airstrike.
Oh.
Fox, you got an airstrike?
No, that's what I told you to get.
That's so annoying. I thought you was going to buy an airstrike, Conway, for that reason. Look at this gun. Fucking hell.
UAV.
Despite all the advice from your Conway, you're not allowed in charge of that any stuff anymore, alright?
Well, neither of you two got the bollocks to go and do a run, so...
No, we just said you was going for the run. Don't blame it on that. Can't go back 2 steps. We said buy an airstrike.
Don't think you did. Let's see this footage.
Oh,
We
fine.
definitely
And I
said
said
buy an
buy a
airstrike.
cluster. And we downed the guy that we were running towards. Perfect time to cluster him. We'd have created carnage.
If you can show me the footage...
Oh, mate, don't worry. I can. That's going to court,
sure.
mate.
So, what's clear from that evidence is that Adam was fully aware that James had a UAV. We weren't of need for another UAV. And even if he had have gone there, everybody knows you pop your UAV straight away and then you buy the cluster or the airstrike. That's a given. He does that regularly, and I think as another player alongside him, Adam, James will know that. The jury will know that in this case. And so you can bring up the bit where I say buy another UAV and a cluster. But everybody knows if you had have done that, you would have popped your UAV first, as we said, and then bought the cluster. And I think that is poignant in this case. And the final point to make, Your Honour, is he then tried to deflect the blame at the end and blame it on the fact that we wouldn't go to the buy station ourselves. That concludes the case for the Crown, Your Honour.
Does the defence have anything to say?
Well, the defence has a lot to say.
Oh, a whole post-it note.
A whole post-it note full.
Pink, I see.
The defence needs a brief recess to re-examine the evidence.
Yeah. What's the likely outcome, Your Honour? What's the likely penal code here? Penalty here? Penal code? What the fuck's that? It's American.
It is a pint bought for the prosecutor.
Fine. Okay. Accepted.
Now, Mr. Croxon, Your Honour, I stand here today.
Objection! You don't talk to the judge like that. Upheld. Carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I stand here today.
It's drum and bass. What you gonna do?
Accused. Accused of what exactly? I'm not sure. It's not been made clear by the prosecutor exactly what I am here for, but nonetheless, I proclaim my innocence.
In what then? We know what you've done. What are you innocent with?
Well, no, okay. Well, if you're not accusing me of anything, then I'm not guilty of anything.
I am. I'm accusing you of lying about not buying the UAV.
Lying about not buying the UAV?
The cluster.
So, okay, so you're saying that I claimed to buy a cluster strike?
You were told to buy the cluster strike. You didn't. You spent it all on other shit.
That's not
and
lying.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying you didn't buy what you should have. This is not the real. This is not the real criminal offences, Adam. It's not theft or burglary. It's war zone cock-ups. And the cock-up was that you went to the buy station with strict instructions and you fucked them up.
Right. Okay.
Right? And we needed that airstrike, and we died because of you.
Murder.
That is the offence. Murder.
Would you claim that I was given clear instructions?
You were given instructions.
Would you claim that I was given clear instructions?
You were told to buy a UAV and a cluster. Right. They were clear.
Okay, so, Your Honour, he's claiming that I was given clear instructions. Okay?
From two parties.
Yes, that is pertinent. Because my defence rests on one word. Cross-talking. If you examine the evidence, you'll find that both of you told me what to buy at the same time.
You bought neither. You bought no cluster, no airstrike, which is
how can one hear two things at once?
I think that would be a subject for the judge to decide whether he could clearly hear it. Because I did.
Yeah.
What shall I buy?
I don't know. I've got a UAV.
Buy a UAV. Buy another UAV and a cluster. Yeah. For me down people.
Mr. Conway, can I ask you a question? Are you deaf, Mr. Conway? Are you deaf? Easy question.
Sometimes I wish I was.
No. Are you stupid, Mr. Conway?
No, I'm
not. That rests my case.
And stupidity, brings me to my second point of defence. Stupid voices.
What?
No, listen.
Yeah.
What shall I buy?
I don't know. I've got a UAV.
Buy a UAV.
When engaging in serious matters of war, life and death, should it not be that we should uphold serious tones and speak clearly with our intentions? Doing it silly impressions and silly voices have no place in the proceedings during Warzone. And anything said whilst making a silly voice should not be used as evidence. Because you said...
I think that's prejudice towards voices.
You said buy a UAV and buy an airstrike, but you said it in a silly voice that is not your own. Therefore, I discounted it and did not think that that you meant it in any serious way.
So what did you buy a UAV for then?
Because I wanted a UAV.
Exactly. Selfishness.
Selfishness. Is that another accusation?
Oh, that is not an accusation. That is just part of your personality. That's an assassination, not an accusation.
Your Honour, what have I written on this post-it note?
Armor box.
Armor box.
Armor box.
You had
An armor box with the money. Your Honour, I am being accused of selfishness, yet I bought an armor box. An armor box. How does an armor box work? Does it replenish your own armor only and leave your friends to have nothing for themselves? No, it is a communal purchase. Selfishness has no part.
With my money. You asked for my money and Croxton's money, and then you went there and bought an armor box that I didn't ever see, and then you bought a UAV.
And I bought you something with the armor box. So, you gave me instructions to buy a cluster strike in a silly voice, therefore it should not be counted.
It wasn't a silly voice.
Your Honour, I shall play back the evidence.
Please do.
What shall I buy?
No, mate. Go back to the drawing board because you need another idea.
Your Honour, in order to uphold the idea that he was not speaking in a silly voice, Scott would have to be talking like this constantly. Yet, he is in this court here today and he is not speaking with that voice. Therefore, it was a silly voice and it should have been discounted and it cannot be upheld in court.
I think that
You
argument
let me ask what you think.
underlines this entire case, Your Honour. Prejudice, bone idleness, laziness, selfishness. I need say no more. He said it himself.
Your Honour, he has no specific.
This is not Judge Rinder. Let's go to let's
Your Honour,
go
he
to
has closing statements.
Keep
We
them
both
brief,
get closing
guys.
statements at least. Fair.
Keep them brief.
keep them brave, Croxton. Kind of taking it with his gavel.
Your Honour, as you know, my defence lies upon three things: cross-talking and therefore ineligibility. Silly voices, therefore, cannot be taken seriously. And the purchasing of an armour box, proving that selfishness was not a factor.
Thank you. Closing statements from the Crown, Your Honour. At no point in this case have we ever accused or mentioned voices.
Oh, and also my other thing is that he has no specific accusations. So therefore,
we'll strike them final comments from the.
Therefore, you cannot convict me on anything specific because he's not accused me of anything specific.
Those final comments will be stricken from the record as you have finished your closing statements.
Thank you. Can I continue?
You may.
At no point has the defendant or his counsel denied the allegations that he understood and bought the wrong things. At no point has he said he wasn't aware he needed to buy a cluster strike. He's blaming on voices, so he did hear it and he did understand it, but he's dismissed it from his mind. That not being my problem nor yours or the public. So on that basis, along with all the other arguments that I presented, I implore you to find him guilty of this offence for
Guilty
the
of what?
public safety, for the cocking up of the UAV and cluster strike purchase under Section 1 of the Cunt Management Act 2020. I implore you to find him guilty in this case, Your Honour. That concludes the case for the Crown.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Wonderful, expressive statements from both. To reference the selfishness allegation first, I believe Mr. Conway has provided enough proof to show that that is not and will be removed from the allegations and will not be charged with a count of selfishness.
Yes.
As we head into the cock-up of the cluster strike, the UAV scandal, your two-pronged argument at this point, Mr. Conway, was based on cross-talking and silly voices.
Sorry.
Now, the issue we have here, which the prosecution made quite clear, is that you did, in fact, with the silly voices, still understand what was being said. And with the cross-talking, after reviewing the evidence, I do not believe we have a case for cross-talking. As such, the jury will deliver a verdict of guilty to Mr. Conway.
Suck on them.
Dangerous, dangerous. All I can say is it's dangerous. It's setting precedents.
Take him down.
That will cause
Bailiff, take him away.
Suffering in the future. Silly quizzes are now to be upheld as serious communications. You know, ridiculous.
Got you in my closing remarks, didn't I?
No, you got me because the judge is biased, and
bollocks.
You both talked at the same time, so I actually genuinely didn't know that you said click cast strike.
Shame you didn't say that in court, wasn't it? You can think about that from the long hole of your cell.
I don't think it would help me in this corrupt court.
Oh, it's all corrupt when you're on the wrong side of the boot, mate. Don't worry.